Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. My name is Ōhi Toshio, Director of the Ferenc Museum of Asiatic Arts. It's my great pleasure to greet all of you here at the Moholy-Nagy University of Art and Design, Budapest. I extend a special greeting to Her Excellency Ono Hikariko, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Japan, Mami Fuji, Director of Japan Foundation in Budapest, and Zoltán Südi, former Ambassador of Hungary in Japan. It's an honor for us to welcome Ōhi Chōzaemon the 11th in Budapest, where we can celebrate the acquisition of a new Ōhiyaki artwork, a Hijiri-style teacup, to the collection of the Ferenc Museum of Asiatic Arts. To mark this occasion, a special talk will be held by the master, titled Philosophy of Vessel. I would like to give just a very short introduction to the master and roll some data about his activities. He was born in Kanazawa and graduated at Tamagawa University in Tokyo and got a MA degree at Boston University, USA. He has several positions like Urasenke visiting lecturer, Ishikawa Prefecture Tourism Envoy, Ishikawa Cultural Tourism Special Guide, and member of Kanazawa Creative City Promotion Committee. He made several exhibitions, as I counted, 82 joint exhibitions, and he had almost 100 solo exhibitions all over the world. The numbers of awards are more than 2 dozens, and I think the most ambitious data that more than 20 different collections have various items from him, both in Europe, in the American continent, and in Japan. In this lecture, Master Ōhi Chōzaemon will share his thoughts on tradition and modernity with us. Thank you for coming and sharing your experience with us. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Toshio Ōhi Chōzaemon, 11th. Probably you might think I'm like a samurai looking, like a Japanese clay artist, but I am not. I'm making tea bowls, also I'm making contemporary art also. So I'm a kind of a new type of traditional family, 11th generation. So just this photograph is in the January 1st at 4 p.m. We have a big earthquake. Maybe you might know this accident news. And it went to all over the world. And it was my grandfather's, my father's, and my tea bowl are broken. And then I couldn't throw out the pieces, broken pieces. And a couple months later, my idea came up. Maybe you might know kintsugi. It's not that. I'm joining from a firing. So grades can be glue. And I found new technique. So that's why I picked this photograph. So thank you very much for inviting me, such a well-known institution, Moholy-Nagy University of Art and Design. I'm very honored to be here. And also, thank you for coming, especially from a Japanese ambassador, also former Hungarian ambassador in Tokyo, and of course, CEO for this institution. If I say that each people's name, I always have a mistake. Sometimes I'm saying different names, so I will stop this kind of a conversation. However, I want to talk about my soul, how I'm putting to my clay. So maybe when I talk about, if I say craft, maybe in Hungary might be different. It's a kind of a same field with contemporary art. But I learned in America. I studied at Boston University. But still today in America, when we say craft, it means one step down from contemporary art or fine art. That's why most of the clay artists, most of the ceramists want to say, I am clay artist. They don't want to say craft. Also, at your institution, you say art and design. That's including craft, I guess. But in England, they're proud of craft. So each area had a different concept. But today, maybe after you heard my lecture, some people might be clay artists or ceramists. You can proud, I am making craft, I believe. So I want to express this kind of a conversation today. So maybe you are listening my English. Maybe better thing is you watch my slides. And then each photograph, I will talk about my impression, what I am thinking. So I will follow from that. When I took art history in Boston, there was a 90 minutes class. They show us 300 slides. So we have to remember how art history is moving with 300 pictures. So I couldn't follow English, but by photograph, I could follow. That's why, from my experience, I'm using a lot of slides. You might be tired, but I try. So today, I will talk about philosophy of vessels. So PH, it's a F sound, is one of them difficult pronunciation for Japanese. Also, philosophy is also. So when I mean vessel is also. So I'm choosing two difficult words for Japanese pronunciation, but I hope you understand my English pronunciation. Maybe 90 minutes you will get. So first of all, maybe you have seen this kind of a tea bowl, Japanese, in the quiet, small Japanese tea room. And then they are holding tea bowl and then drinking tea. But why this is a special for Japanese? Today, Cornelia, she is represent Urasenke tea, the way of tea in Hungary. She will explain why move twice before we drink. But most of our Japanese tea teachers, they are just saying, just move twice from front to the back. But if I ask them what's the reason, they don't know what's the reason. They just say, this is a manner. But I can tell you why we are doing this over, maybe I will say, over 450 years at least. So this is everybody, only Japanese can read these characters. But from today, you can read these characters. So these Chinese characters and Japanese character we are using same way. The meaning is a life or lives. So this meaning is a heaven. This meaning is a vessel. And right side, this is a human figure. So human is holding vessel to the heaven. This is a meaning for the life. So around 250 AC, Chinese people are using this kind of characters. This is more easier understanding what I'm talking about. This is a heaven, this is a human, and this is a vessel. This meaning is a life. So you can think we are in the tea room and then wishing or praying and handing tea bowl to the heaven. So if you enter to the tea room, there is always hanging calligraphies. This is a message between us and someone from a heaven. So tokonoma is a one step higher than our sitting position. That is a channel between heaven and our time. So that's why we are always holding the tea bowl with wishness. So when we just hold the table and looking at the green tea, so now you understand what the meaning. Before we drink tea, we have this kind of a soul in our mind. And then after we drank all tea, we try to remember what kind of a tea bowl, what shape, what color. If we have the mind, we can read what the color. There is not just black. In black there is a white. In black there is a red. So many colors, but we just think it's just black colors. And then final thing, we look at the bottom. They didn't have a photograph at the time. So each time, each chance, each moment, we are sharing the time together. But we didn't have a memory system. That's why we have a tea record. What kind of utensils tea host used. And then what kind of tea utensils we touched. That's a memory from a record with also from our experience. It's a melting. This is our memory. Also, by Japanese, when we talk about vessels, it's not only functional meanings. So, as you know, this is a small vessel. But big vessel, you remember the character life. So left side, it is talking about left side vessel for the life. So if the human has many experiences or knowledge or learning, that's all the kind of things inside of our vessels. That's why when we see great person, we say he has a big vessel. The idea came from that. Also, if the person had a high sense or maybe high, how do you call aura? It's an English aura. It looks like a great man, but also elegant. So means we are talking about outside of our vessels. He has a nice vessel. It means inside vessel and outside vessel. It's two meanings I'm talking about. Also, you can compare. This is a concept why Japanese think tea bowl is important. This is a shrine in one of our important shrine in Japan. This decoration or display, please just remember this. This is the character of a festival or ceremony. This is the characters, but I can tell you the concept. This is a table. This is a foot by 3 foot. And then again, this is a vessel, something inside of a vessel. And then this is normally flowers. So these kind of combinations we call ceremony or festival. Always here is vessel. It's including. So this kind of a story, I'm not advertising, but just during the COVID, I was writing about 30 topics about what kind of a vessel. I'm talking about vessels, philosophy of vessels. Became a published book. I'm sorry, written everything by Japanese. So now, have you heard about Feng Shui? Okay. About how much people understand about Feng Shui? I will talk about a little bit briefly entrance for the Feng Shui study. So this is a map of Tokyo. But at the time, we were calling Edo. The name was Edo. But first of all, where the name came from, most of Japanese people cannot answer. So, because Edo Jukei, he was the planner for the city. Also, at the time, around this time, nobody knew this was a water system from north to the center of the city. It was a water system. They make like a spiral. Nobody knew that. Only 10% people maybe very much belongs to the central government. Only these people knows these secret matters. Otherwise, if oppositions knows about this, they can attack to the capital. That's why it was a secret. This was also idea came from Feng Shui. Like this. This is the spiral. In the center, emperor is living. Still. So this is you can see this is the north, this is the south, west, east. This is an environmental map. The west side have to be mountain in the city. East side have to be river or pond with mountain. North is a mountain and God is hiding here. And then bring water inside. This is Beijing, Nanjing, Xi'an, and Tokyo. All 4 angles capitals. Beijing means north capital. Nanjing means south capital. It's like this. So also, this spiral formulation was 5 and almost 5 and 8. This kind of a combination, when we have a 5 and 5, goes left shape goes 5 and 8. So it's a Pythagoras spiral format. So this is the exact same way it was built city, water system like this. So now you understand water system for the capital. This is very important. That's why you see many spiral motifs in Japanese craft. At the time, if they didn't have any meanings, it doesn't go motif. They didn't have abstract ideas yet. So this is a map for Japan. This is Kyoto. This is Tokyo. My city, Kanazawa. Location was like this. However, my city facing to the Japan Ocean, Japan Sea. And then Tokyo and Kyoto are facing to the Pacific Ocean. So that's a different story. We always have a snow, but we have a communication with China, Korean Peninsula, directly. We are very close to the land. That's why we know China more than Kyoto or Tokyo. That's the reason. So this is my family. Let me talk about my family. This is he unified all over our area. He was called our most powerful outside leader. Family name was Maeda. They unify about 270 years in my area. And then he is tea master. Came to Kanazawa for teaching the way of tea. But now I just talk about Feng Shui. The way of tea or Zen, basic idea is a Feng Shui. So he knows about Feng Shui. I'm talking about the way of tea. Many people think about related with Buddhism. It's not. It's a Feng Shui, Shintoism. It's a directly to the way of tea. And then, if you see this haircut, I'm 11th. He is my first generation. Both of them came from Kyoto, 1666, to Kanazawa. By his invitation, he was a fifth generation of a Maeda family. It's like who was an emperor in this area? I forgot the name of Habsburg. Very similar like a Habsburg. You can think. Maeda is a Habsburg in Japan. So he taught my first generation because his great-grandfather was Senrikyu. He created the way of tea with wabi-sabi, tranquility, longevity, and quiet moment. So he learned from a great-grandfather and continued to him. And then he took my first generation, went to Kanazawa together. And then my family's most important motif is spiral. But now you understand it's this. It's not just spiral. It has to have a meanings. And then Maeda wanted to say, that family knows Feng Shui, also very close to belong to the central government, by tea utensils or from the tea ceremony. So this is a formation from a map. North is a god is hiding. West is a white tiger is living. That's why it's a mountain. So blue dragon is living in the lake and ocean. And then south is a god bird. It's flying down to the land. It means pure water. It comes to the center of a city. And then this water is going out to the ocean. So already they are talking about SDGs. So also, my first generation was said, make this kind of a tea bowl. The tea bowl name is S-A-I-N-T, Saint, like a San Francisco, Saint. It means very much related something from a God. And then this tea bowl idea came from this. The highest monk or Buddha statues had a hat like this. So upside down, it goes like a tea bowl. So that shape, nobody was making. So shape goes like this. And then nickname, tea bowl name became Hijiri. The main meaning is a saint. Also, I think I'm meeting so many foreign people. I mean, I'm Japanese. That's why I'm meeting so many foreign peoples. Every time I ask questions, what do you think about crow? My pronunciation is very not right. That's why I have a photograph. Crow. Right? So the crow, maybe in Hungary, what do you think about? It's a bad luck bird or good luck bird? Maybe bad luck, right? In Japan, maybe at the time, let's say 17th centuries, everybody said if the bird crow is flying around the sky in top of from the house, somebody is going to die or something bad happen. That's why they said something and they throw something and then the bird goes away. That way, people are always afraid of this kind of a bird. But there was a 90% citizens were thinking that way. But this bird was in front of a Kumano shrine. It's a special area we call Kumano Kodo. If people enter to the area, people can learn all kind of feng shui ideas is melting in the area. That's why around 17th century, people have to have a special permission. Otherwise, people couldn't enter there. So in front of that shrine, see, this is a god of the nature. So only few people knows this is a god. But look at the foot, 3 foot, and one became 1 foot. We call yatagaras. So now, Japanese national football players, they have this to the uniform. That's why most of Japanese getting understand. Crow used to be God, but nobody knew that. But my first generation was making crow incense burner in Tokonoma with hanging calligraphies. So most of people would say, oh, this is a bad luck bird. Why in Tokonoma area? So Maeda wanted to say, the family or our area knows this bird is a god. Without saying, in the tea utensils for the tea ceremony, it's not saying, just put in there. So normally, best tea ceremony is not talking about all utensils. Very quiet. Read what the meaning. So each other's host and guest. That's without saying, but that communication was a conversation. So this is already from that, 1666, my first generation went to Kanazawa. And then about 350 years later, he is my grandfather, 9th generation. I knew when I was a young, he was making tea bowls, and my father was making art by clay. But I grew up with them. So my character, maybe you are seeing now today, maybe you can tell. I kind of against them. I didn't want to do anything about my family things. But once I stepped back, maybe that idea was closest direction for doing traditions. Just not follow from family. Maybe once against or doing something different. It's a closest direction, I believe, today. But anyway, my grandfather didn't like me because I was not following my family all the time. But now he gave me many good education for keeping my family now. But from a first generation until grandfathers, I love this tea bowl the most. He made it. And with his memory, just one tea bowl from this, all the memory came back since I was born. So I think tea bowl, it's that. Also, at the same time, my father was making contemporary art by clay. So my grandfather was always thinking to the son, to my father, he was not serious for making tea bowls. Why he doesn't follow from my grandfather? So my father was thinking, this is a tea bowl making ideas. And he is proving for the contemporary art. So inside, idea is a tea bowls. But my grandfather didn't think that. Just seriously make one good tea bowl. That was my grandfather's age. My father's, he went to, during the Second War, he was in Tokyo. He went to Tokyo University of Fine Art. He was running, but it was during the Second War. There was no class. They went to Hiroshima for making a submarine or airplane. It's because art school students, they can draw or paint. That's why they were soldiers, but not went to the war place. However, after the Second War, as quick as possible, they want to have what is a European art, what is an American art. They have a big absorption. So our society or our art is completely changed. So our tradition means divided to the two directions, keeping tradition and then going to the contemporary ideas. That's my father's generations. And he was making, also he was trying to competition for the fine art competition. He made this, also he made a black tea bowl. So both of them never negotiate. The age is different, historical background is different. So in front of me, they are always talking strongly. Or sometimes I could hear there was a fighting. But that's why I didn't want to continue my family. But this is my studio. Used to be, now I have an Ōhi museum, but used to be kiln space. So about 55 years ago, we moved to the outside of Kanazawa city. So this is a studio house. This is a kiln space. My children's memory, my kids' memory, it was in my house. But 55 years ago, they moved to the outside. So my father didn't like, I'm showing our traditional kiln. he always said, it's a secret. Don't show to the people. But I went to America, open to the public. That's more truth, I think. This is everything. It was made by clay, kiln clay. Exact same way we are firing since 1666. So this is we never use wheel, hand built. And then after clay goes leather hard, we start to carve by own tools. So this is, we made by ourselves. We never buy anything. So this is the way how to make the tea bowl. But my grandfather never taught him how to make. And then my father never taught me how to make. The best thing is this. Because if we learn grades or how to make, it's a we'll go copy. So we don't know how my father was making. That's better. So no teaching means best way to keeping traditions. So this is my American professor's name, Richard House. He is still alive, so should not say past. He is making American Raku. So when I was 20 years old, I went to a museum in Kyoto. I saw his work in the National Museum. It said Raku. Wow, Raku is my family related with the Raku family. So why American people is saying Raku? That was my question. I wrote him a letter. And then, what's a Raku? And then, why you are doing a Japanese Raku? And then he gave me answer. If you want to learn, come to the graduate school, study hard. That was his invitation from his letter. And then I studied very hard because I really wanted to learn American ceramics. And then my fellows, or my father's friend, my grandfather's friend, everybody told me, Toshi, why you are going to the States? They don't have any traditions. Why you have to learn? But I want to learn new things. That's it. But they really against it. And then he was making 12 parts by American Raku. So when I went to, I could enter to the Boston University graduate school. My English level was that much not high. My universities in Tokyo, it was not so high level. So at the Boston University degrees, they didn't take my degree from my college degrees. So I have to take 7 different kind of classes, including Oslo game. I have to make by computer program. No way. I asked to an MIT friend. He made a program like an amateur, but a teacher understood. I am asking to the friend, but I told him, I need your project, otherwise I cannot finish MFA. But he said, okay, I give you. So I made a good friend. But also my institution gave me half-year English tutor for understand art history class. I was a very special student, I guess. Only for me, I have a English teachers for half a year. But that, without my tuition, they did favor for one Japanese student. I'm so I was so glad. So this was the Boston University. This was a graduate school. I'm a kind of a kinky guy. That was the first things I started to make. It was a deep sea memory. So my teacher told me I have to have a concept. I have to have a name for the work before I start to paint or start to make. That is the most important things. Have to have a concept, have to have a name of a work. But now many young students, like learning from me, they don't have a title for the work. After they finish the work, they start to think, what's the name of work? So that's the concept. It's not enough. So I learned from him. Also, this is a very funny things. Ura Senkei, maybe you might know one of the biggest tea school in Kyoto, now 16th generation Grand Tea Master. I belong from the family, but at the time, great Grand Tea Master, now 101 years old, when he was a Grand Tea Master, he told me, you learn in America, but never forget, you should not forget about how to make tea or the Japanese culture. I learned in New York how to make tea wearing jeans. And then my teacher was an American, and then wearing kimono. It is opposite. And then one day, that Grand Tea Master came to New York, and then he had a demonstration at the Metropolitan Museum. I thought, oh, this tea making is acting like a drama theaters. Oh, tradition. It can be like this for foreign people. Okay, I can continue my family. At the time, I got idea from his demonstration. Also, I learned contemporary art concept in America. This is a black and white picture, but he is black person. But normally, black person never be Santa Claus. Maybe Hungary is very close to our concept of a Christmas. You know, white person had a long, how do you go, bears, and then kind of a wealthy family to the chimney and going to the house, and the house is very rich family. But why the kids need present? But I think they were thinking, what's a Christmas? But you know, they have a racism. Also, black and white pictures and black and white problem. It's a kind of a mixing and confusing. And then he just wear small Santa Claus. So there is many meanings from just one photograph. I learned this is a concept for the contemporary art. Also, this is a Taylor Swift. I went to Singapore in March. I'm making big metal work in the bank lobby. So I went to Singapore for the meeting in the March. Taylor Swift had a concert in Singapore. I was invited to the concert. I was a third line from her front. So I'm not smart. She was so close, but I'm taking video by my iPhone. I should watch by my eyes, but I was watching camera. Very not smart. However, and then I also thought, this is the old craft she is wearing. So shoes or clothes or accessories, everything is a craft. So if we make everything together for this kind of entertainment, craft goes up so easy. I got idea that. But since I was born, I was always thinking someday I would be 11th generation. And then I went to many countries, had a workshop. This is in France, Toulouse. I did workshop. And then this is my tea bowl making, which like I'm making tea. I try to same way to do this. Or sometimes I make with music, slow music, rock music, disco music. I can try to make with music. Yeah, that's a tea bowl goes different way. So I made in France. But sorry, it's not Hermes. Made in French, but quality is big different. So let me talk about contemporary art. 2013, I was invited for the invitational arches to the Seoul. At the same time, I was chosen maybe half a year. I had a time. So I was thinking, what kind of a work I should be in the invitational exhibition. Same time, 2001, March 11th, there was a big earthquake in Japan. It's almost same time. So many people, I think this is a, how do you call, 修理さん、原発の爆発したのなんて言うんだっけ? Radiation. So, sorry, I ask you, and before you answer, that's me. Sorry. But anyway, this is a people very scared. This is all radiation comes all over the sky, but it wasn't fake news. But everybody's scared. But at the same time, to the Russia, this is not missile. This is an asteroid. It's coming to the Earth. So that two things. I realized asteroid is a Raku. Because when the piece is completely melting, we are pulling out from a kiln. This firing process we call Raku. So I made a story. Raku is an asteroid. This is a black tea ball when I fire it, pulling up from kiln. So just remember this. This is a asteroid and then became stone in the earth. Black tea ball. Not so different. Concept is similar. Okay, I can make it. And then it was 2 kilometers inside. People cannot enter because there was destroyed the city by radiation. So people could not enter. But I got permission. I asked local people, give me clay. So they took a photograph and then they sent me the clay. I fire as poison as possible. How people can get scared from my firing. But God gave me a different ideas. When I wanna fire like a poison, color comes so beautiful. And then I understood when we feel too much, always God gave us opposite result. So like this clay, I fire like this, kind of scary. And then goes like this. When I fire different clay, doesn't go like a poison, comes like a more jewelry. And then I decided, okay, glass, I can put in the kiln together. So glass and Raku are melting together. So all works in front of a blooming atomic power station. Also about Japanese Hayabusa went to a different land and catching stone or part of the stone or sand, bring back to the earth. So I want to make that kind of things. So I try to make asteroid. So also clay this clay is mixing from all over the world. It's not only my local area. And fire like this. Now this piece in Vienna, Auditorium Museum. Now I'm showing this work in my exhibition. This is one of my favorite pieces. It is very sad, but we will stay in Vienna. So maybe you can look at this tea bowl forever. So as here, Urasenke people, and Austria, there is another Urasenke people, but they are learning traditions. For 450 years, we are studying and learning and made it what's the way of tea. But I want to make a kind of a new ideas for the tea ideas. This is a 4 seasons in 10 minutes. It always changing colors for spring, summer, autumn, winter. This was tea room. It's a material, it's a man-made skin. 人工皮膚 man-made skin. なんて言います? Artificial leather. Now you understand. I use for the architectural material and then blooming by air. Inside is like a Starbucks coffee. Matcha is can make a matcha and people get the tea and they can drink inside. It's a Starbucks and new technology. I mixed up. Also, 9/11 in New York. It was 5 years later after the 2 buildings blew up. We went to New York and then to the Liberty State statues. We were wishing and playing and making tea in the garden, Battery Park. There we are wearing kimono and then making tea, but we didn't have any announcement. But people are gathering and people are crying. They understood without saying what we are trying to do. So I love, this is a new way of tea. As you know, Japan and Korea, sometimes good friend, sometimes bad friend. Sometimes we like each other's, and then 5 years later we hate each other's. This is the Japanese and Koreans maybe mind each other's. But one person and one Korean, one Japanese, when we are talking together, we are very good friend. But 10 Japanese and 1 Korean, we have the same kind of idea to Korean. So maybe we are bad side. So I always feel this is a sad story. So I went to Korea and then I did Japanese tea ceremony, but all Korean utensils I used. And then today ambassador came over, but at the time a Japanese Korean ambassador, a Japanese ambassador in Korea, he said, don't wear kimono when we are walking in the street. That much we are bad relationship at the time. Now I think it's getting better, but by tea we can relate better directions, I think. And then this is the China and Korea and Japan's tea ceremony together. So there is 3 tea rooms. So people invite 3 countries for each 3 countries. This is another story. Now it's a new concept about LGBTQ. So I'm a what? I don't know. I have so many friends. Like L, G, E, I don't know, some. So people gather in Canada October 18th. I will have a tea ceremony with them. So this is a new style of tea. So now let me talk about traditional materials, how I'm using for the contemporary way. This is an old style of a tea ceremony. We call this kind of a clay wall. We call it sakan. It may be plaster. This idea I'm using for making interior. This is the same materials. I'm painting by my hand and fingers. I don't use this. My hand is a tools. I don't use any other things. With some of my Raku, like a asteroid I made. And this is a pharmacy. So this is the same materials. I'm painting by hand. Also, this is the entrance for the company. This is the black and blue. I'm making by plasters, but when we looking at from outside, looks like a painting, just painting for the interior. By using all traditional materials. So this is the Toyota dealers. The many automobiles are lined up. So piece of my tea bowls. Purposely I made it. It is not broken. Purposely I made it. I want to say clay has always layer. So from old time to go new time. So I want to make a layers. So it's a part of the tea bowls. And then all colors. Like this. This is the old materials for kimono, but people always doesn't know how to use. I decided for the eyewear between plastic and plastic. Use that kind of old kimono material. Cut by leather, but like now when we have an operation to the body, they are using leather, like a scientific leather. They use for cutting this area. Also lacquers. I made glasses. And then 2004, I got design award from a government. Now also cooperating with a sake factory. He is already 92 years old. He is still making sake, but he is asking me make a design for his sake. So also new factories I designed too. Also this logo mark, remember? Golden ratio. And his last name is Noguchi. So no is also similar characters. So I'm mixing. This is a design I designed to the bottle. This is irregular bottle. First of all, I made by clay, and then to the glass makers, and then finally they designed. There is no characters, just try to remember this. That's all. Also, this is a tea room size, but this is for service and counter table. It's a tasting room for the sake. It goes like this. So I do interior design also. And then time passed. And 2011, my father got final highest award from a government. And then 2015, we have a blue train from Tokyo to Kanazawa. And so this is I made this mural with my father. This was the first time and last time we worked together, made one piece. And 2016, I became a 11th generation because my family history became, my father became 88 years old. At the same time, our family history was 350 years. That was a kind of a coincidence. Then my father and I went to Urasenke, and then we had a special ceremony for being 11th. And then Hokuriku Shinkansen, the blue train, ran from Tokyo to Kanazawa. It used to be 5 hours, now 2 hours, 20 minutes. Also, I was one of a committee member for making contemporary art museum in Kanazawa. We call Kanazawa 21st Century Museum. We thought about 300,000 people coming in the year. So it was 1 more 0. It became 3 million people in the year coming to this museum. Because at the time, when we planned for this museum, nobody knew in Kanazawa what means contemporary art. So that was very difficult. So many people made an argument. And then now, 3 million people are coming. So these people are saying, that was my idea. Always happen like this. And then also, about 3 years ago, National Craft Museum came to Kanazawa, moved to Kanazawa. So now we have a contemporary art museum, also National Craft Museum. It's also a city development. So this is a private talk. Kuma Kengo is one of our well-known architect designer. He is now, but we knew each other since we were very, very young. So maybe as you know, he designed the Tokyo National Olympic Stadium. So he designed my gallery. And this is my samurai house. And then used to be like this, but changed to the gallery by his design. So inside of a gallery, it's a paper, Japanese papers and bamboos, that kind of materials we are using. This is an approach to my museum. I had ambassador, it's doing flower arrangement. So this is a Sogetsu flower arrangement master. Her name is Akane Teshigahara, Sogetsu style. She made this gate for COVID. If a person pass this entrance, never get corona. So that was a kind of a fake story, maybe. But if people believe so, we can against the COVID. Also, Senju Hiroshi, he's another my friend. He is very well-known painter. He lives in New York. It is a waterfall. He is painting always. So I asked him, Kuma Kengo is going to design my house. And then he said, okay, I'm going to paint for your tea room door. And then to the Kuma Kengo, I said, Senju Hiroshi going to paint for my tea room. So Kuma said, okay, I'm going to design for your house. I used to my friends. at the same time. So it became like this. So this is Kuma Kengo. So also, then I went to São Paulo after I became 11th by Japanese Foreign Ministry. It was 150 years anniversary for after Japan and Brazil start to have a relationship, diplomatic relationship. So for the memory, I went to São Paulo. I had an exhibition. About almost 0.12 million people came to my museum in 1 week. So I was very proud of, but consulate general told me, normally when we have a Japanese event, always this much people are coming. So I lost mind. Okay, and every time when I have a workshop, I do with tea demonstration together. So this is a general consulate and me, and then a person from Urasenke lives in Brazil. He make tea, and then at the same time I am making an explanation what kind of a tea ceremony is. And then after people watch that, they can be guests for the tea ceremony. After that, like today, I'm going to have lecture. This is in São Paulo. And then now in the Brazil Immigrant Museum, they have my tea bowl too. When you enter, second layer is my work. And this is now this country. By former ambassador Mr. and Mrs. Shudi, they gave me this opportunity. First of all, I had an exhibition in Budapest. And then, second time, I did in Page University with students and some of our Claudia's son. So this is a kind of a American style Raku firing. It's like almost like a barbecue party. People can enjoy, and then it's a quick each time. So students are making together, so they can see their result. So after that, we have a tea ceremony. So we are using the tea bowls or plate, just finished from firing. And then I also had an exhibition at the Nick Gallery. This was exhibition in Page. And then last things, I bought this jacket in Page. It's a Hungarian traditional jacket. And then I was invited to the Hungarian national TV station. And then I went to airport. Week later, COVID start. So I was talking by English. And then they gave me a video. I don't know why I'm speaking Hungarian language. So I don't know what I was talking. See, I'm talking Hungarian. I just understand my hand is moving. Yeah, that's it. But the voice was when our former Prime Minister Abe, when he came to Hungary, she was always translating, I heard. So that lady translate, that's why my voice is a woman. Yeah, I am not woman, but... And then after I went back to Japan, Hungarian embassy gave me many opportunities. So I was invited for the group exhibition, and then I was awarded, I got a medal from a Hungarian government. This was the embassy in Tokyo. So this is thank you for Hungary. So I thought that was the 3 generations together. What time is it? Okay, 12 minutes. Father, me, and we were lucky. When my father became 93 years old, we had a 3 generations exhibition together. And this is my son. He's actually architect, designer. He went to Tokyo University of Fine Art and learning about architect, but doing ceramics. So this is my son. By my guidance, but he always, I'm checking what he's saying to the mass communications. He is saying he found by himself. It's okay. That's my son and I. We designed the new type of tea rooms. This is 5 layers for the wall, and then this inside, I coordinate for the utensils. LED is lighting. This is a tea table. And went to Tainan for the Ban Shigeru. He designed the museum. And then first exhibition was this tea room we brought to the Taiwan. And my son was choosing under 35 architect designers. Kanazawa became over tourism, and then 2020 Corona pandemic, and then restaurant or craftsman, everybody stopped. Nobody knew what we can do, and then I started. Okay, let's make a homepage for 500 craftsmen in Kanazawa. We made a network. And then I asked to the mayor, 50 million Japanese yen. He put the budget for the craftsmen. So government cannot just give them money. So we decided for making homepage for each people. For that, they need a budget. So each people can get 50,000 yen to 500 people. The budget goes like this. And then after Corona, jumped. This is my idea for making my art. It's they call Grand Circle in southern part of how do you call it? Around Las Vegas? Grand Canyon. South part of a Grand Canyon. So I made this kind of a part. I was awarded by Imperial Prize. And then I had a chance to talk with the Emperor and the Empress 20 minutes last year. And then after COVID, so many people are coming back and tourism came back. And then this is the 3rd floor at my museum. It's earthquake. Like this. So we got this much damaged. Over 100 tea bowls are broken. Kiln is broken. And then nobody came to Kanazawa again. This is a Wajima. It's so many lacquer craftsmen are living in this town. It's gone. And then just months ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, it was a heavy rain, and they got another damaged again. But how can we do the craft from this kind of a environment? One more time, think about listening carefully, watching carefully, smelling carefully, tasting carefully, touching carefully. That's the 5 senses for we have, and we are sharing each other's. So once again, 1, 2, 3, repeat and study again. Listening, watching, smelling, always 3 senses are seriously learning. Again, since we are born, we are doing this, but I start to think like that. And then this is we call the way of incense. We do like this, but we never say smelling incense. We say listening incense. It means to the notes, we are returning to the ear. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's repeating all the time. Maybe you might not get idea what I'm saying. This is the same thing. Wine, watching bottle, and then with air, looking, never drink, not yet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then finally holding glass and drinking. It's the same as drinking tea by tea bowl. So everybody can go genius person if we use 5 senses from our body. Fully we used. And then we start to understand Feng Shui, Shinto, Buddhism, Zen, Wabi-Sabi. That mind is very important. So 5 senses, when we are fully using, we got different image. That we call 6 senses. So if we are not using 5 senses fully, we never have a 6 sense. But 6 sense means our art sense, or concept, or soul, I believe. So now you are going to the studying and learning design. Me too. What means design? It's design, means sign one more time. Sign one more time. That means design, right? So think about always repeating. From the thinking, always you have this kind of a feeling. You can see beautiful sky, and then always positive ideas. Your surrounding people are always giving us good answer. We feel good, always environment is coming to us. It's also good feeling. This is when we are driving in the city. If the sign is a green, always sign is green. We always feel, it doesn't matter what kind of nationalities, we feel today, maybe I am a good luck. But opposite way, like this, it means nature is telling you, don't do that. Your surrounding people might not be good people. Think again. So this is a sign for return. Not only step forward, Sometimes we can go back and think one more time, so we can see another sky. So it's a Japanese concept. One chance, one meeting, we appreciate. But the other world, art students, we cannot teach these things. When we meet someone, We should not meet the person. That's important too. But in your mind, you have to decide by yourself. But someday, if you are repeating this kind of a process in your mind, you will pick, this is a good person for doing something together. You can have a connection or you can have a network. And then you can think about design. Design cannot make just one person. Human and human, we have to think about together. So I'm saying maybe big word. However, I did small things by myself. Broken tea bowls. It's a soul. Always when we shake a hand, always our backside, always our DNA, they are standing lined up. Just I'm living today. That's why when I shake a hand, my back line is all my ancestors. So everybody is the same thing. So once clay means that, or design, it means that it's not design on the just paper. It's not that. Think about deeper. And broken tea bowls, I start to think maybe I can join, but from a firing. And then this is actually clay. This is the glaze. I'm mixing. And then after I fire, this is the joining by my new materials. Or broken tea bowl, I make base again. I became a, not vessel, but maybe a figure. Broken tea bowl, I made tile for this. And then it was announced by Yomiuri newspaper. And then it's one of a new condominium and hotel and in Tokyo. So the gallery, first exhibition, I and my son did in the art space. So this is an instant house we call. In Noto Peninsula, we have a big earthquake. There is a many instant house for the people. Lost a house for these people. They are living this kind of a house. I brought this instant house in the gallery. I did tea ceremony in there. So we are thinking about Noto Peninsula. And then this tea room now came to my museum, in front of my museum. So my father's death, 1 year death, anniversary will be October 17th. I'm sure today my wife or my staff, Hosoki, came here together. They might be agree with me, but I'm thinking for my father's anniversary, I want to have a tea ceremony in this instant house. I think they don't like, but I will do it. And this is a Singapore. It's one of a big bank. I made metal work. You know, the spiral? I did by metal, like this. And then I have an exhibition in Auditorium. Maybe what I'm saying today, it's only 3 hours by train. I came from Vienna today, so you just go to Vienna by train. Please go to the museum and look at my work. So last 2 words, what I want to say. What are thoughts on craft and contemporary art? How we can relate with contemporary art. That's very important. That way, let's do craft and let's make a new understanding about craft. So, I'm tired. I'm gonna finish my talk, but if you have some questions, I'm glad to hear what you ask. But normally, when light on and I look at people, they are just watching under the chairs. But it's okay. I want to finish my talk. Thank you.